Okay. So good evening, everyone. I think that we have, as Reed mentioned, we have about 7 participants in the room, Reed. So we are good to start. Welcome, everyone. I want to say that I appreciate your presence tonight at ATD Central Florida when we are starting our 2023 program. Today is our first virtual session. My name is Maria Francis Rodriguez. I'm gonna be the co-host for tonight for this session in company of Reed Colburn. Reed, we have an agenda, and since we want to be in compliance because of the time that we have available for this program, I want to be mindful about your time, appreciating, of course, that you show up, and we don't want to take you for too long here. So let's start. Our first focus will be on our mission. ATD Central Florida have the mission to inform, involve, and inspire. And it's my hope that you find this session tonight at this presentation that it can be helpful and also help you to engage in better knowledge about simulations and about the opportunities and benefits that this tool can offer to the corporate world and to your professional development. And we also hope that you feel inspired and get to know a little bit more about the company, about our speaker tonight, and about our organization, if you might. So tonight, we would like to start also by acknowledging that this company has more than 15 years in the market, that it has a good version, a diverse, I say, quantity of product and services that come to bring answers to the corporate world and to the needs of situation and circumstances of training for onboarding, upskills, reskilling, corporate learning, team experience, and many other circumstances and needs. Stukent has been in the market, first of all, with high schools and higher education, but for several years has been offering also good benefit and great solutions to the corporate world. So next, we need to go with some housekeeping, which I will ask Reed to help me out with all the instructions.
Thanks, Maria. Hey, everyone. I'm Reed. I'm the VP of Technology at ATD Central Florida. I'm an instructional designer by trade, and I'm really excited for Seth's presentation tonight. So before we get to that, yes, please, while you're not speaking, please silence your, please mute your microphone. Seth will be, asking questions and asking you to interact throughout his presentation. So if you've got a question and, you want to unmute and answer his question or chat, please feel free to do so when Seth, prompts us to. So we're going to have about 40 minutes from 7:10 to 7:50 with Seth. And then for the last 10 minutes, we'll have a Q&A session where you can ask questions and, sort of debrief and discuss the presentation. Please also feel free to use the chat if you have questions during the presentation, and I will pay attention to that and make sure that we address your questions during. So, yeah, back to you, Maria.
Thank you. And we're going to keep a little bit more further with the business of the chapter to present our board of directors. And please let me know if we have any of the members of the board present to acknowledge them. I welcome anyone. I would like also to CISO. Welcome, our president, CISO. Thank you so much for your support, CISO. We are glad to have you here. And any other member of the board tonight? No?
I think
Okay.
it's just me. Thank you so much, Maria, and welcome, Seth Deming. It's a pleasure to meet you, and I'm excited. This is our first session for the year, so welcome, everyone. We're looking forward to hearing from Seth tonight. Thank you.
Appreciate that. And to continue, of course, we want to acknowledge our members, the new volunteers, new talents. If you can move the next slide, Reed, please. The new talents that are helping us in volunteering with the chapter are Yolanda Larner, Joanna Musser, and Ebony Lawrence. Are you present tonight, any of you? I am not sure because I can know, well, I guess I can see the list of people that are present. We have 10 participants right now, but I would like just to thank you for the time that you offer to our chapter and for the dedication and commitment that you bring in. So next slide, please, Read, to welcome our new members. We are celebrating tonight several new members, and we invite you. I really personally encourage you to communicate with each one of us on the board of directors and let us know how can we be of help for your goals in your professional development. It's really important and crucial, as I say. The focus of this chapter is to bring solutions and to help our community of learners to improve your performance. So if we can be of any help, bringing new programs that help you in your personal goals and professional development goals, or we can be helpful in any other way by supporting you in any of your challenge, please communicate it to us. Engage with us in social media and participate. We are a group of volunteers and we are always recruiting. So please be aware that you could be one of the next talent that we will encourage to volunteer with us. Thank you so much. And next slide, please, is Read, is to bring out of all the upcoming events that we have scheduled already. I invite you particularly to visit our website, the page of events, and go into details of all those activities. Coming up this month, we have Training 2023, the conference at an expo. By the way, today we have a winner of that entrance for the conference and expo, and congratulations. I think his name was David, but I need to verify. I apologize because I didn't do that ahead of time. Also, we have the webinar on March 1st with Barry Nadler about design thinking. Very interested information for you out there. And next, but not the last, will be the Level 1 Gamification Surveyor Certification for Talent Development Professional. That's going to be a face-to-face workshop here in Orlando in March 23rd. So I hope that you get more information on the web. And now I am excited to present our speaker for tonight, Seth Deming. Seth, thank you so much for your patience. We have been communicated for, I will say, 8 months at least, and and we are happy to have you here tonight and to listen to what you have to inform us and to share with us in an engaging and interactive activity. How can simulation help or improve the engaging of people in professional development. So I have to say few things about Seth. He asked me not to do the attention all on him because he wants to talk about his product and about his services. So I have to say that he has a MBA, a Master in Business Administration Services. He has more than 20 years of work and experience, and the majority of that time is in higher education. Between the services that he provides we find business consulting, educational consulting, change management, leadership development, customer service, and many other topics that he covers. Seth is committed and passionate about inspiring others to invest in personal development and professional development, not only for themselves, but for their team. And he is all about helping people. Please join me to welcome Seth Deming. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria. It has been a pleasure working with Maria Rodriguez for the last 8 months or so. Thank you. You're very kind. And I'm really excited to be here to talk with you about the different options that we provide at Stukent. Now, I wanted to kind of give you a brief overview of who Stukent is, what we do, how we're actually using. We're actually in over 5,700 institutions across the world, and we're just growing by leaps and bounds every year because of the interactive way that we approach education. Now, we have been in higher education, K-12, for a lot of years, and now we're actually branching out, and we're being used in many other institutions as well. But the motto of Stukent is helping educators help students help the world. That can easily be changed to help businesses help their people to help the world. And so I want to kind of talk to you about these simulations. Now, please don't hesitate to pipe in, unmute yourself, and ask a question as we go along. I'd love for this to be as interactive as we can. I'm going to kind of share some brief overview of the types of simulations that we have, and then I'm going to actually show you one of the simulations, because a lot of times when people think about a simulation, they think, oh, a pilot in their flight simulator, right? Like fly in, but when they crash, they don't actually die. This is similar in concept, but we're taking it into the realm of business. These simulations have been really profound. We're currently being used by HP, AbbVie, Procter & Gamble, GeoBlue. I'm working with Dell and Oracle and Apple with some implementations of this as well. But we're also in all the big universities that you can think of. Harvard University uses our simulations. Oxford, Penn State, you name it. It's really going to some great places. Mm-hmm. Here's some feedback from some of the corporate clients that we've had that I felt like could be beneficial. These are from some of the individuals that have taken the simulations and gone through them, as well as some of those that are overseeing others that are going through these simulations. So I want you to just pay attention to the fact that these simulations are really designed to give people real world experience without having to suffer the real world consequences. So when you think about improving your marketing as a company, you don't necessarily want your marketers to go and spend your tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing just to see if it works. you'd like them to have some actual experience first. And so these simulations are a simulated environment, a sandbox environment that protects your budget and your brand as a company, so that they can learn in a safe environment. And it's fun. As you can see with some of these quotes, it's engaging, and the people that go through these simulations, they learn, and they learn in a fun way. Now, these are just some of the simulations that we currently offer. Now, Maria showed some additional ones, but we're also always adding more. So actually, since I put this together, we've added, I think, another 7 or 8 simulations. We have over 25 simulations from anywhere, anything from professional selling, advertising, lots in marketing, email marketing, digital marketing, social media marketing, and such. But we're also adding some additional simulations this year in financial accounting, managerial accounting, and others such as that. So as we go along, we're always working with subject matter experts and those in education as well, to make sure that these are meeting the demands of the market. One thing that's really important for you to know is that we get all of our authors, all of the subject matter experts that agree to help us to build these simulations, they also agree to update these simulations at least once per year. And that is so crucial, because there's always changes in marketing and business and accounting and such. And we have to always keep on top of those. And so Stukent, as we offer our services to companies and universities across the globe, it's important for you to know that these are always going to be up to date and be the most recent for the market. Any so far on the different simulations that we have to offer? I'd like to just jump over real quick to our simulation catalog. I'm happy to share this with anybody that would like it. This simulation catalog is a little bit more up to date. You can see we've got a lot of these different simulations, consumer behavior, market research, integrated marketing. We also are branching out into additional communications. One of the newer ones is public relations. We understand that as companies, we always have PR issues that we've got to deal with, and business communication. And all these simulations address these in such depth that it gives each person experience in terms of like internal communication, external communication, when you've got crises that take place. And unfortunately, we're seeing more and more of those crises every year. And with this simulation catalog, you'll actually be able to see that we've got certain objectives associated with each of these simulations. So Mimic Pro, this is the one I'm going to kind of show you a little bit. You'll go through 10 rounds of the simulation. And we're going to go through keyword research, audience target and segmentation, design principles, marketing campaign analysis, compelling ad copy. We're going to look at your budget and experience with search, shopping, and display ads. And each one of these simulations has a significant amount of learning that's experienced. Sorry, do I have a question? Was there a question that I saw? Not yet. Okay. You'll have to like unmute yourself and ask, because I can't necessarily see when people raise their hands.
Right.
So we're always building simulations, like I said. So these are some of the simulations that we're currently working on. A few of these we just finished. So like our public speaking, we're doing an advanced public speaking as well. Brand management, business writing, supply chain. I believe our supply chain is just getting finished now. and we're always adding more. We're to the tune of about 10 to 12 new simulations each year. Now, the reason we're doing these simulations is because of what we're experiencing in learning in general. Most people you can't just like read something and understand it. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to get in there and practice and work in a simulated environment. That's why we start all of our simulations with the word mimic, because it mimics the real life scenario of each of these simulations, and it gets people into the act of learning. Reed, who's a designer, probably understands this very, very well, because you can't just talk and allow and expect people to be able to regurgitate or to apply. You've got to get into what they're doing and into that the hierarchy. You can kind of see this resembles Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Because that's where we're trying to get to. Now, we're doing learning by doing. We're trying to improve that competency, and we're providing a sandbox environment so that it allows people to make mistakes in a safe space, so that they're not affecting their employers' budgets and brand and such. Now, what we also do is we do custom simulation. This is like I'm working with Oracle right now. They've got some very complex systems, and they are hiring us to build some additional simulations specific to their tools, so that when they sell their products to corporations across the globe, they can provide our simulations to help train their people on how to use them. We help take these complex problems and situations and distill it down to a space where people can actually use them. With the L&D, we provide the custom simulations. We also can facilitate groups. This is what we've done with HP, where they've had hundreds of people going through the simulations each month, and we're providing kind of a framework for these cohorts for them to go through and learn together. And you can actually, it's really fun because we provide some really fun team building opportunities where they can go through these simulations as a team and then get together once a week for an hour to talk about, okay, what did you learn? What was your experience? And kind of have a competition among teammates. And so that's been a lot of fun to see that dynamic, particularly in the corporate space with some of these very large companies. Any questions there on some of these options?
You say that they work I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
You say that they work in groups. How do you create a simulation with, like?
Yeah, great question. Great question. So what we do is we provide so we'll generally start off the company or the team with we meet with all of them and say, okay, this is the simulation you're going to go through for the next 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, however they'd like to organize it. And then we lay out what if there's a competition among the top performers and what prizes they would have. But what we also do is we then say, okay, you go through rounds 1 through 3 this week, and then we're going to come back next week and we're going to talk about what kind of things did you learn? What was your experience? What were the takeaways from going through these rounds of the simulation this week? And give them the opportunity to kind of talk it through together as the team. And so they're doing the learning and playing in the simulation separately, but then we bring them back together each week or every other week, depending on how the organization likes it to be structured. And we give them that opportunity to kind of collaborate and learn from one another in terms of the things that they picked up on. What we often do as well is we'll bring in a couple of those weeks the subject matter expert that helped to build the simulation to be able to get into some deeper analysis questions, deeper application and such. And that's proven to be really, really helpful for some of these groups as well. Does that help answer your question? Great. Thank you for that. So really, this is what we're providing. It depends on the company. What we find is generally a simulation you can run through it very easily in a 4 to 6 week period. It doesn't take a lot of preparation, a lot of additional work. We found that some companies like to just do a boot camp. I'm working with a company out of Amsterdam right now, where they're putting together a boot camp for their whole marketing department. And they're going to go for 4 days and they're just going to dive into it. And they're going to get them all kind of at the same level of understanding of social media marketing, which is what's really taking off in that part of the world. And so the reason I bring this up is because we can actually be pretty flexible in terms of the application. I'm working with small companies, I'm working with massive companies, and we can kind of be flexible in terms of how that is designed for those companies and really what's best for them and their team. Sometimes it's just, hey, you know what, I just want to have access to all these simulations so my marketing team can just go through on their own to learn and relearn the things that they need to know in order to be successful on our marketing team. And so that's kind of how we set it up. And what's cool is that we have not just the simulated experience, but we also have there's a digital textbook that we use more in higher education than we do in the learning and development space and corporations. Because what I found is most professionals don't really want to spend time reading a textbook. We did that for 8 years already. I don't want to do it anymore, right? Most of the professionals in this space just like to get into those simulations and play through them, okay? We talked about the customization option as well. What I'd like to do is I would like to dive into our Mimic Pro simulation, so you can kind of see what this simulated experience looks like, and it makes a little bit more sense as to the experience. But before I do that, are there any other questions over what I've covered so far? None? Okay, let's dive into this. This is our Mimic Pro. So once each learner has dived into the simulation, this is the first place they go. This is just an introduction to the simulation. This is what the things that you'll be learning as you go through the simulation. In this particular case, we're going to do, you're going to select and optimize keywords. You're going to create and optimize bids. So like as you would do bids for keywords on Google. You would organize, create, and optimize search campaigns, ad groups, and ads. Identify and analyze key performance indicators. KPIs are big in the world, and this is what we want people to focus on. And we're actually going to spend time in this. What's cool about these simulations is we try to mimic a real world scenario as closely as we can, which includes an inbox. So in this particular case, each learner is going to be put in as an intern or a new employee at this fictional company. Bowie Handbags is the fictional company, and this is their first email from their new boss at this internship or this job. We give them information on who we are as a company. Bowie is we're building handbags. We've got all of our core values as a company. You can see this is completely interactive in terms of what core values we have as a company. We also are going to dive into customer profiles. So this is something that you would do in a traditional digital marketing role, that you would identify who your customer profiles are. What we're doing is we're kind of making it simplistic for each of the learners. So you got back to school Mindy, 18 to 26-year-olds, it's single and such. We got City Hopper Sue, that's 26 to 35. Dave Packer Tom. What we're trying to do is build an understanding of the marketplace for each of the learners that's going to go through this. And we're also going to give them some great analytics in terms of the traffic and sales that we currently have on our website at this fictional company. So we can see that we've got the different traffic by source on our Buoy website. We've got our paid traffic based on search, display, and shopping. We also have our sales by gender. So we if we know what the gender is, this is what we're the analytics that we're looking at. We're also going to see our traffic based on what product type that we've got as a company. And again, this is all based on this fictional company Buoy. We're also going to look at the sales by age demographic, also by general sales by gender and by parental status as well. And what we're doing with all this is we're just kind of building an understanding of, okay, who we are as a company and what kind of things that we're trying to do. What's nice though is in the simulation, if you click on this resources tab on the bottom, we have a lot of the same stuff. So it's available throughout the simulation at the touch of their fingers so that they can dive into these numbers and have a better understanding of who we are as a company, okay? And then we're gonna start the next round. So in the first round of this simulation, we've got a budget balance of $1,200. So each individual will have that same budget. And we've got a video here that shows Brock Donovan, that our business. Can you guys hear this at all? Can you hear the video?
No, no.
Okay. Basically, we give a video introduction, like you're having a conversation with your new director. But what we also do is we give them the same information in a written form. So if people that are hearing impaired or whatnot, they can't watch the video or they have internet issues, they can still see the same information in a written form. And also a way so we can, if they hear it, they read it, they get a little bit better understanding of what we're trying to do here. So in this first round of the simulation, we're saying we need to save this product line. It's not doing so well. So I want you to research the customer profiles and the American Dream backpack information. And I want you to go through these steps, okay? And in each round of the simulation, they've got, again, our inbox. We've got an email from Brock Donovan, our director of marketing. Then what we also have is we've got text messages or Slack messages or whatever internal messaging system that you use. We're getting questions from coworkers. So in this case, we've got Callie that said, hey, I think it's so cool we get to work here. Hey, I'm working on a few campaigns. And I remember one of our professors telling us that there's a difference between SEO and paid or PPC keywords. Do you remember what he said? And then you can say, oh, you know what? Yeah, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and send this as my response. Then they get a response, and then we give them feedback on that response, okay? So this is a way for them to kind of have some interactivity with coworkers within the simulation and help to reinforce some of the principles that they need to then understand as they're working through this aspect of the simulation, okay? And again, they get messages from others that they go through. And then we dive into the keyword research and planning. So again, a video, but also the written form. These are the searches. And so now we're gonna start to do some keyword research. So I'm gonna do backpacks for moms, and I can look at different keywords that are out there. You know, okay, and with each of those keywords that I research, I can see what the average monthly searches are, what the competition is, and what the suggested bid is. And so as I do this, I can start to build the different competition. And obviously you can go and say, hey, I want to no competition or just high competition. What we're doing is we're having them go through and kind of research the different keywords that they're actually going to use in terms of actually putting out some bids for keywords. Any questions so far? Just want to make sure that I'm not losing anybody. Okay. Great. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the landing page. Again, a video. But then we're going to say, okay, your job now is to optimize the landing page for this American Dream backpack. So you can choose the title, which title that would match the customer profiles most closely, as well as the meta description, and it gives you the preview for that. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to look at the website. Okay, we can even choose a different color if we'd like. We can choose whatever header we'd like. You can actually have them write in a product description, free form, as well as selecting a call to action. So we also then have different benefits that we're going to put at the bottom, as you would and on your your website for your company, as well as what features. And as a normal website would have, we would also have customer reviews and such. Then we're going to build a campaign, and for simplistic sake, we're going to just kind of throw in there. We say, you know what, I want to get sales. I want to drive some sales, and I'm going to have this campaign be sales improvement. I can put in a daily budget for this. Now notice as I plug in a daily budget, it will say, oh, you can't exceed $40 a day on that budget. Oh, okay, well, so I'm going to do that. If I want to change my CPC, I'm going to say $24 there. And this is just a campaign. You can then start putting in your different ad groups and what the CPC for each of those ad groups is going to be. And then you'll start throwing keywords and search ads and such in there. So what they're doing is they're building these different ad campaigns so that they can help drive the sales of this. And then they can, once they have those ad groups built in, then you can actually see your active ad groups, as well as any paused ad groups that you might have that you built in there. And then it's time to start bidding on keywords. For simplicity's sake, I'm just going to go ahead and also show the search ads, and I'm going to run the simulation. Even though I haven't filled out a lot of the information, what this does is that it allows you to see kind of what the rounds of the simulation are like. And so now what it's doing is it's taking all of those decisions they made on the website, on the keywords, on their bids and such. And then it's going to say, okay, my budget was $1,200 and my goals were to reach 1,500 clicks and select over 20 keywords. And then I look at my results. Obviously here I didn't pay anything. If I actually did some bids and stuff, you would be able to see, okay, you had $1,200 budget, you only spent $800 of that budget, and of that budget, this is the revenue that you produce for that line. We also give them search ad quality indicators and such. We give them some help along the way so that they can then understand, okay, what does it mean when we see all of these indicators, and what can I then do to improve it for the next round? Now, keep in mind that as they go through, now we're on round 2. I've got an increased budget, but we introduce additional concepts of digital marketing in each round of the simulation. So you can see here, the round 1 was really as an introduction to search ads. Then the following rounds, we're gonna do search ad practice. We're gonna do more optimization. Then we're going to introduce them to display ads and remarketing. And then we're going to do some additional ad campaign optimization. By the time we get to round 10 of this simulation, they're going to have a budget of $36,000 to spend on display ads, search ads, bidding for keywords and such. And their hope is that by spending that $36,000 at that point, they've already had experience in all of these things. They've seen some successes and some failures, some things that worked, some things that didn't. But by the time that each learner is through this simulation, they're going to have experience in optimizing the web page, on best keywords to utilize, calls to action that are more effective than others. And what's happening on the back end of this simulation is that we've got real data to help fuel this simulation so that it mimics what's actually going to happen in the real world. Now, granted, your companies will not be selling backpacks generally, but what we're reinforcing are the principles of digital marketing that then your people can then apply in your marketing team or your sales team or your whatever team that you're trying to help with this. And so here we're trying to reach a revenue of $50,000, right? And so we're looking to spend $36,000, and we want to reach some additional revenue. And so by the time that each learner is through this simulation, they'll actually have some credentials that will help them in the real world. In digital marketing, in this instance in particular. I know this is kind of a very high level overview. What questions do you have at this point on the simulated experience?
Reed, would you like to go ahead and follow all those questions that we have on the chat? Reed?
Oh,
okay. Okay, that's okay. I can help you with the questions on the chat. Seth, give me
wonderful. Thank you.
a second. Okay. Reed Williams, he say, this is a great tool. I am already seeing how the simulation can be beneficial for organizations. This would help make onboarding new employees such a smooth process. New hires would be able to engage in real world scenarios they might experience in their position and get immediate feedback.
Exactly. And what we're also seeing is it's not just helpful for onboarding new employees. Like myself, for instance, I got my bachelor's degree in business marketing, right? But I got it 20 years ago. Since then, we've got digital marketing, we've got social media marketing, we've got, there are so many changes in marketing since I got my degree. And there are people like me that are running marketing departments at companies across the globe. So it's also helpful for reskilling and upskilling existing personnel that have been maybe doing marketing for a long period of time. So yeah, absolutely. It can be helpful in lots of aspects. And that's what we're finding, like at HP, for instance. They're using these simulations to enhance the kind of the baseline of all their marketing professionals across the company. So that way everyone is at least on the same playing field and working in with the same base knowledge.
That's great.
So,
And
yeah, absolutely.
oh, sorry for interrupting, Seth.
No, no.
I wanted to add that Paha mentioned that it could also be used as a method for pre-applicant screening. And Janet is asking, is there a place to identify any prerequisite?
There's really no prerequisites necessary for any of these simulations at this point, because what we're giving them is the opportunity to learn these things as they play through the simulation. So there's really not a prerequisite necessary for these simulations. We can take novices and they can go through these simulations as many times as they'd like. So that's one of the things I think would be helpful for you to understand is when you get access to these simulations, it's not just a one and done type of an experience. They can play through these simulations as many times as they want on their own time, and throughout the entire year. So when each of these companies purchases access to these simulations, they can get access for all their people for the entire year, including any updates that happened throughout that year.
Excellent. We don't have any more questions right now.
Right. So I hope that's helpful for you to kind of see at least just a glimpse of what this simulated experience looks like, because really it's an opportunity for individuals to onboard, upskill, reskill their employees. I've actually had marketing ad agencies that have contacted me and said, hey, I keep getting people put on their resume that they got this Stukent simulation certification. And I have no idea what you guys do. What can you tell me what it is? Why are they putting this on there? Because they're seeing applicant after applicant put this on their resume as a way to try to grab attention. And I went through that, and they're now using our simulations for the upskilling of their personnel as well. So it's kind of fantastic to see how beneficial these simulated experiences can be for both new hires and existing personnel in companies of all sizes. So I hope that's helpful to kind of see what that looks like. And again, I would draw your attention to the fact that this is just one of the many simulations that we offer, and that these can all be done on a do-it-yourself format. So if you've got a marketing team that you know what, we want to increase their understanding on social media. We don't really have a social media presence yet. You can put them all through our social media marketing simulation, and then you know that they've got a baseline understanding of how to do social media advertising on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, all the social media platforms that are used out there in the market. And that's why we've got a much more engaging and that's why we continue to grow, is because companies and universities and such across the globe are just having a lot of impact with this. Thank you. I guess, Reed, you had some additional, are there any other questions that anybody has at this point on these simulations and how they can help?
Looks like we lost Maria, but I'll go back
Oh.
to our slide here. Yeah, so Q&A time. Ask away.
If you don't have a system like yours, what resembles to me like an LMS, learning management system, for anybody who's not familiar with that term, how would you be able to do something similar within L&D?
Yeah, you don't have to have an LMS to be able to run these. Many companies actually do use an LMS, like Canvas or Moodle or such. These can all be standalone as well. So what we do is we actually have each of these simulations housed on our servers through our website. So you can say, hey, you know what, I want to give my marketing team access to this simulation or these few simulations, and then they can just go and play in our environment, and all they need is a network connection, essentially, and a computer. Does that help answer your question? But if they're using an LMS, we can actually integrate with any LMS platform, and they can use these simulations within those platforms as well. There's a raised hand.
Yes, this is me. This is Lutargia. First of all, I would like to congratulate you because it's a wonderful product. It reminds me when I used to study at Phoenix University. There we have several simulations, and for my taste, I think what I miss in the past is like a physical reference of the simulation.
Sergio, can you?
Yes. Are you listening to me?
Yeah,
We can hear you.
I'm listening.
Now-
Sorry.
Okay, I just want to ask you if there is any physical material with the simulation, or just what we have on the digital environment.
Yeah, we've built everything in a digital environment so that it can be used easily across the globe. So, but we do have like the textbooks can be printed and can be physical as well, if that's something that your teams would like to have access to. But based on the fact that we're always updating these, that's one of the reasons why we keep it in a digital format. Is so like last year, Google changed some of their algorithms based on the paid search that's done on their site. We had to quickly update all of our simulations to reflect those updates in the real world environment. And so having it in a digital format allows us to continue to offer those up-to-date tools and resources for all of our customers.
Thank you.
Was there something else that you were referencing to when in regards to physical?
I just wanted. I was remembering my preferences. I do like digital simulations and digital PDF and everything, but also I tend to print out, you know, many references for my use to use it and carry that information with me. That's why I asked for the physical information.
Great question. Thank you for explaining that. Appreciate that. Any other questions I can help answer?
So I've got one, Seth.
Yeah.
So I'm an instructional designer. I work in the hospitality industry. And we're working on an issue, a problem, a focus area on recruiting right now. And we're trying to look at recruiting as a process and how sort of like different roles and different positions play a part in the recruiting process. So I was kind of wondering how that would look in a simulation if, you know, you could have one process and have different roles. Like before you start the simulation, you select a role and that would affect the way the simulation occurs. You know what I'm saying? Do you do stuff like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it would probably depend on the roles that you're looking at. The different roles might just be different simulations that they're utilizing. So, for instance, if you're recruiting for a marketing team and you're looking for a digital marketer, you would put them in the Mimic Pro simulation. If you're looking at social media, you put in Mimic Social. If you're looking at paid search, you could put them in that one. As far as each of the simulations are concerned, the variability comes in with the decisions they're making throughout the simulation. So it's kind of like one of those books, Choose Your Own Adventure book. The decisions that they're making will affect how well they're doing in the simulation. And so if you're looking at recruiting, say for a particular role, you could literally throw a bunch of candidates in the simulation and say, okay, I want all of you to play through 5 rounds of this simulation. And then we're going to rank you based on how well each of you did. And then you can use those top earners, those top performers, and that can be kind of your rank in terms of determining whether you're going to interview them or such. You know, or it could also be, hey, you have to get to at least this level of understanding on the simulation before we're actually going to put you on the front lines doing this stuff with our money.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so you could basically just build out several different simulations and kind of, I'm assuming you could, like with Stukent, you can like copy and paste certain things into the,
exactly.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, and Janet, you asked, can you control the visibility of simulations per user? And the answer is yes. So you can enroll just as you would, like you can, as a company, you can say, okay, we're gonna get all these simulations, and I'm gonna enroll just these individuals in this simulation. That's the only one that they would see in that regard. So, Susan, thank you for coming.
All right. Well, I think
so. Yeah, you can kind of tweak it how you like.
I think we're almost out of time here, so let me go ahead and share the last little bit here.
Thank you so much, Seth, for your presentation. Very engaging, very illustrative, and helpful to try to understand a little bit for many of us that don't have the knowledge and haven't had the experience. It's quite interesting and amazing to see all the alternatives that you have in there to explore and develop. So tonight, I want also to invite all our members to take actions and use the benefits that the ATD National plus ATD Central Florida membership bring to us, making the Power member available with a sorts of benefits which are not only the magazine, not only the resources on the website, not only the email, the reports in talent development that you have. There is many other alternatives that you will gain when you combine both membership. So please look into that and see if that is something that you can do soon. And the next slide I would like to share with you is our invitation for you to engage with us in social media. I want to thank you, all of you. Every one of you that focus with commitment to be here tonight. Thank you to our presenter, Seth. Again, appreciate your help, and please volunteer with us because we need your help. We are a group of volunteers. Sometimes we struggle about all the hands that we need to do encounters like this or physical or face-to-face event. Thank you and good night.
Thanks,
I also
everyone.
before you go, I want to encourage you to please connect in LinkedIn, if you don't mind, Seth, or connect with each one of the members on the board, and we will take care of those questions that are in there. Thank you so much.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Take care.
Thanks,
Mhm.
Seth.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay.